Hi, I'm Chris, and we're going through this year's PSAT. We're in section 4, which is a math section. We're taking a look at question 36. They give us this function, f of n equals 1 over root n minus 1,000. So with function questions, one really important thing to understand, if you notice I said f of n. This is not the same thing as saying f times n. We're not distributing f to n. It's f of n. So for f of n, what it means is that for any value of n that we're given, let's say you are given n equals 2, f of 2 would mean you're plugging in a 2 for n into this expression. So now let's see what they're asking us for. They tell us that f of n is going to be an integer, and they want to know what value of n would make f of n an integer. So an integer is a non-decimal, non-fraction number, and in order for f of n to come out to be an integer, this, when you plug in some value for n, has to work out to give you a non-decimal, non-fraction number. So let's start to test this out a little bit just to see if we can familiarize ourselves with this equation. Let's start small. What if you plugged in 1 for n? Well, 1 minus 1,000 is going to be a negative number, negative 999. And can we take the square root of negatives? So we can. Some of you might have said, oh, well, I learned in class you have these imaginary numbers, I, and things like that. You can, but as far as getting an integer result, you're not going to get that if you have the square root of a negative. If you type it into a calculator, your calculator will give you back an error message. It doesn't work. So we know that we need this to be something that's positive. So we know n has to start at least 1,000 so that we get out of the negatives. So let's try that. If we plug in n equals 1,000, let's test it. So this would be 1 over the square root of 1,000 minus 1,000. Well, that's 1 over the square root of 0, which is 1 over 0. And if you type that into a calculator, what does your calculator tell you? So yeah, hopefully your calculator, if it's working properly, will tell you that 1 divided by 0 is undefined, or it'll give you back an error message on that. So we know that this scenario isn't going to work. And we know that for this result to be a positive value, we can only move up. So let's try the next largest number, and I recommend doing this so that you get maybe 2 or 3 values to start to notice a pattern. If you notice a pattern, sometimes it makes it easier to say, oh, okay, wait, I know it's going to be up around this amount. So start small. If you're not sure what to try next, just increase by 1 and go baby steps all the way up. So here, n equals 1,001. Let's try that one. 1 over the square root of 1,001 minus 1,000. Let's see what we get for that. 1,001 minus 1,000 is 1. So that would give us 1 over square root of 1. The square root of 1 is 1. So that'll give us 1 over 1, which is equal to 1. 1 is an integer value. Now we have to make sure we know what the question's asking us for. So we figured it out that this worked. I'm actually going to erase this circle because I don't want us to think that 1 is our final answer. When you go to plug in your final answer, notice what the question's asking. The question wants to know the value for n. Not what the result was when you plugged in n, but what is n itself. And n, for this to work out to meet this restriction that f of n has to be an integer, n equaled 1,001. So this is actually the answer that we're going to be plugging in into our answer sheet on that question 36 on the grid-in portion of the PSAT. For more, please feel free to check out our other videos, and thanks for watching.